Hello friends, welcome or welcome back. Today I am drinking a Javy Coffee, Javy. They're sponsoring this video. I moved recently during a heat wave. If you watched my last video, you know this already. I have not yet had to set up my coffee pot. I mean, it is set up, I have it unpacked, but I haven't had to turn it on yet because I've been using the Javy Coffee concentrate. I have the bottle over there, why didn't I bring it? There's about one coffee's worth left in here, and it has saved my life. It's really easy, it's just coffee concentrate. What I do for my iced coffee is mix it with oat milk and water, and then I put some sugar. And if you see any like bits floating on top, that's pumpkin spice, because I'm a basic bitch. It is so good, it is so smooth, it's not bitter at all. This is not instant coffee. This is incredible coffee, but it is delivered instantly. It's amazing and I love it. This was a gift, thank you Javy. They sent it to me to try out and review, and I have nothing but amazing things to say about it. They gifted me the straws as well. These are an add-on item that you can put on at the end of your purchase. When I pulled it out of the bag, I was like, oh, a metal straw, cool. Oh, I've heard those are kind of dangerous. It came with this little, like, I think it's silicone. I don't know, it's a little tip. Anyway, if you would like to try this out for yourself, you can click the link in the description of this video and that will automatically apply a discount at checkout. And you're supporting the channel at the same time. So if you've tried this before, let me know what you think. If you plan on trying it, try it out and then let me know what you think. I'm gonna order some more. Like, I'm really sad that I've used it all up, but it makes sense because there's about 30 servings in one bottle, and I've had about 30 servings, so it makes sense. I have about 2 of these every day. It's 1 to 2 tablespoons. Holy crap, that would be strong. 1 to 2 teaspoons of this stuff, and you just plop it in and it's good. And anyway, let's get on with the video. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about today is Gabbie Hanna. I haven't watched any of Gabbie's series yet. I plan on doing that this week and deciding from there if I have anything to say about it. But I've been watching Fat Sajak. She's incredibly hilarious. You should go check out her channel because it's just simply exhausting and triggering to consume Gabbie's content right now, for me personally. And something that has been really sticking with me about her content and the 3-hour phone call, she says stuff a lot about clearing her name. And something that I am very familiar with is feeling that I am in the right and being attacked and wanting to clear my name. And that's not something that I feel I have done in a very long time, but it for sure came from a place of anxiety and insecurity. And I personally found that once I accepted myself, like, yes, I have complex trauma disorder, I have CPTSD. That is my reality, and I will have, what's a word for large? Exaggerated emotional reactions to things sometimes because of the trauma reactions happening in my brain and body. So it makes sense that sometimes a person with this disorder would want to clear their name and so the desperation in her voice when she says that all she wants to do is clear her name, that to me indicates that perhaps she needs to be working a little harder and a little more honestly in therapy, if she's going to therapy. I don't know anyone's life circumstance, and something that's very important to note is that, yes, Gabbie is likely a very wealthy person financially. She's got this beautiful home and all that, but you don't know what she's been doing with her money. Maybe she can't afford therapy, and if she can, it's really hard to go. It's very hard to go to therapy. It took me 7 years from the time I realized I think something isn't right between my ears. I think I'm different from other people. It took me 7 years from having that moment to walking into a doctor's office, a walk-in clinic, because I have a lot of medical trauma, both from medical experiences and lack of medical attention when needed. So it's hard. It's hard to go and talk to someone. And when I walked into that first doctor's office, I have a video talking about this somewhere else on my channel. Subscribe. I brought up, I think maybe I have PTSD. I'd like to explore that. And they said that you don't normally start talking about PTSD until it starts impacting your life. So, like, what people see when we come forward and say, I think I have trauma and I'd like it to be addressed, they don't see everything going on behind your eyeballs, and they don't know how long you've been thinking this. So it's frustrating. Once you know who you are and how your brain works, it's a lot easier to, reel in those emotional reactions and the desperate need to be protected and clear your name. I think it's important to remind ourselves that you're not for everyone. And that's a thing that Gabbie has been saying recently, is that, I'm just not for everyone. I'm not just such a bad person because all these people don't like me. I'm paraphrasing. Don't take this as, what she actually said. Okay, fair. That's a good start. However, it seems like she's using it as a way to act as though she's exempt from consequences of her actions. Hello, my good girl. Hi, sweetest. You're a good girl. I'm praising her because, you want to hop up on your bed? The light stand makes her nervous because I knock things over a lot and it's really loud when this thing falls over. Gabbie does 100% have a point when she says that, like, she isn't for everyone. That doesn't make her a bad person. And I think that's something that we all need to kind of internalize a little bit, is not everyone will just be crazy about me all the time. And that was something that was really hard for me to accept. I have spent most of my life just desperately needing people to approve of me. And it's a hard way to live. And I remember being in the space that I am currently speculating that Gabbie is in, where she's struggling so hard and spiraling, and it's really hard to get out of the spiral. Maybe what's going on with Gabbie right now, we can learn from it, and we can all kind of make mental notes of perhaps being desperate to clear your name is not always the right move. Perhaps it's okay to sit with the criticism, internalize it, manage your expectations a little bit, and just process. I really don't think Gabbie is giving herself time to process stuff. And if she's giving herself the time, I don't know if she knows how to process it, because turning what happened to Jessie Smiles into being about her, like, oh, after everything I've been through, I'm so traumatized. I'm not saying that that is not valid, but I'm saying that it is so heinously inappropriate to say these things on a public platform when it's so obviously not about you. It, to me, seems a lot like she is not in therapy. If she is, I really think her therapist isn't doing a good job. She talks a lot about having ADHD. She thinks she knows so much about ADHD that she corrects medical professionals when they try to correct her when she spreads misinformation. To me, that's kind of dangerous. All of this is very concerning to me. My dog is tucking under my legs. How are you doing, Swedish? It's important to know that sometimes you can have trauma and people will push back against that trauma and your need to express it. Sometimes people are going to push back against it because they think you're being dramatic. Sometimes people will push back against it because they flat out don't believe you. Sometimes people will push back against your trauma and your need to express it and get it off your chest and process it out loud because it is also their trauma. That's not what's happening with Gabbie. She has latched onto and leached off of Jessie Smiles's, and I think that is... You know what, we're not talking about who Gabbie is as a person. That's not an opinion I want to put out there right now. However, because I don't know her. However, I think it's important. I want you to know, dear viewer, that if you have family members or anything, for example, or like friends who were there for whatever the traumatic incident may be, or if you had a traumatic upbringing like I did, if you want to try to go through that with other people who were kind of on the inside and they don't want any part of it, that's not because it's wrong for you to want to process your trauma and get it off of your shoulders and live loudly and make life better for other people in the future. Maybe help somebody else get out of a traumatic, dangerous situation. If that all doesn't seem to be well received, I would love for you to remember that that does not make you wrong. That does not make what you're doing bad. It means that it is also trauma for these other people, potentially, and they either aren't ready to process it differently than you do, or they just can't hear it yet, and they can't see it yet. And if they never do, it's going to be painful for you. But I think it's important to remember that I don't mean to be like, well, blood is just blood, but if you take societal expectations away, and if you take all of the social obligations that are attached to whatever kind of relationship it is that you're struggling with because you're getting pushback from your trauma disorder when it reveals itself to these people. People are just that. They're people. We are all out here doing our best, and I think it's really important to remember that sometimes not every relationship is going to work out. Mothers and daughters aren't always going to get along. Extended family is not always going to support you. Friends might fall away. People may come into your life and then promptly exit. I'm just trying to come up with every possible scenario so as best to resonate with you. It's painful for these relationships to dissolve, but I promise you are strong enough to stand on your own. And if you're not, I promise you are strong enough to kind of wobble and take the first baby step towards learning how to stand on your own. It's hard and it's scary, but if you are living your life with a constant need to clear your name and prove that your trauma is real, that's not good. I personally, the way I see it, is that you are put here to live your best life. And there's a bunch of other rules in between, depending on your religion and culture and like society you live in and your family and the people you surround yourself with and what you hold yourself to morally. But you know what? We're just here to live, and if you are constantly feeling like you need to clear your name, clear yourself out of that relationship. You're not a criminal. You don't deserve to feel like one. However, the things Gabbie Hanna has been doing and saying on the internet truly stink, and I really don't think that anything I just said excuses that behavior. So I guess that's about all I have to say about that. What are your thoughts? What do you think? Thank you so much for watching. If you want to try out Javy Coffee, click the link in my description, and by doing so, you will support the channel with a small commission. Seriously, this is friggin' delicious. Just like the life that you deserve to live. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to be kind to yourself and others today, and I will see you so soon. Maybe the next video won't be sponsored. Sorry, they pile up and then, yeah. Anyway, bye!